This week's episode is sponsored by
also like to work everything on horseback, for one, because of the safety, and for two, because it helps keep all of our cattle calm.
That's important.
Yes, it is.
Safety first. Safety first.
Agriculture. It always finds a way to flourish despite nature's obstacles and the persistent trial and errors of the business. Onions, sugarcane, cotton, potatoes, cattle, and crop dusting. The list goes on for the jobs that keep Americans fed and industries that need 24/7 attention. The often hidden operations deep past the front gates encompass the reality that is farming and ranching, a vast yet overlooked legacy ran by heroic business owners. And that's just who Fellow and Stephanie Martinez of Rancho Santa Fe in Santa Elena, Texas are. Together, Fellow and Stephanie created 2F Akaushi Beef and Felito's Finest, a rare industry in the Rio Grande Valley, raising and distributing the Akaushi breed.
So we basically grow what we call a growing ration. It's really important for their growth, their health, to get them prepared for the feedlot. Basically what it consists of is a corn, that's the grain part of our ration. Then of course we use a roughage, which is hay. Some people use silage, some people use cottonseed hulls and stuff like that. We happen to use hay. And then of course we mix it with molasses and water to make it palatable. This is the corn part of our ration. These are corn screenings that are produced at a local plant for flour, maseca. We use this, as far as the ration, we use this part. This is a corn or grain part of our ration. It's for protein. We get our protein out of it. We also get the energy out of it. And so it's a very important part of our ration.
What makes Akaushi so special?
The breed itself is pretty incredible. They're known for their maternal traits. They're known for their growth. They're known for their birth weights. Their health is phenomenal. They're very hardy cattle. They can take that feed and convert it into protein like no other that Stevie and I've worked with. They also are known to have a really high IMF, which is in the intermuscular fat, where other cattle will put, their fat on the back when the cattle are getting ready for harvest. And the more you feed them, the longer you feed them, the older that they get, the more they put that fat, instead of on the back, into the protein. And that's what gives our beef that buttery, rich flavor. It's very tender. The texture is very tender.
After many years of studying maternal longevity, carcass meat, calving ease and growth, the couple focused on bringing the Akaushi breed to South Texas for its superior quality and benefits. With the help of their daughter Elisa, the family's cattle operation extends from the weaning and selecting of calves all the way to the processing and distribution.
Elisa, Fellow and Stephanie are your parents, and they run this operation, but they don't run it without you. So what are we doing here, and what is your role?
Well, I have many roles, I guess. It's a family-owned and operated company. So for 2F Akaushi Beef, I mainly do the marketing and the advertising. However, we also help each other out work cattle. And so today we are going to be taking from pen number 1 a herd of heifers and steers that have already been DNA certified, and we are going to brand them. We've already weaned these young heifers and steers from their moms. They've already been through our 45-day weaning program, and they've been out in the pasture ever since. And so we've gotten the DNA results back, and we know which ones are Akaushi and which ones aren't. And so we just put them in the pen overnight, and so now we're going to bring them up and we're going to brand them 2F, which is another way to identify them, and we are going to put those back in our beef program.
Elisa, what herd are we looking at?
So this right here is our main Akaushi herd. So the cows are F1s, which means that they are half blood Akaushi and half Angus and Brangus and a little bit of Texas mix, I want to say.
Tex-Mex.
And you also will see in this herd are our full blood Akaushi bulls. And so the bulls have been on for December, January, and we'll take them off in February, so they will be 90 days exposed. So the calves will come out as F2s, meaning that they will be 3/4 Akaushi and 1/4 of our South Texas mix.
So not only, you said earlier that there's 3 different ways that y'all identify your cattle. So we
Correct.
have the DNA, we also have branding, correct?
Yes, so we always brand on the left hip, but if all else fails, if all of the ear tags fall out of their ears, we know that it has a 2F on its hip and it's ours.
Kind of like a tattoo.
Yes, kind of like a tattoo. It's there forever. Or if somebody tries to take them to the sale barn and takes off all the identification, they can't take away that brand. Whenever we DNA certify and they come back as an Akaushi and we're going to put it into the beef program, then as you saw earlier, we brought that steer back in and we branded it on its left hip.
Agriculture isn't just a job, it's a lifestyle. It's a passion. It's either part of who you are or it isn't. You pour your time, blood, and sweat into your land and livestock. Nobody understands that grit more than we do. If there comes a time when you need a helping hand, we stand ready. Local, loyal, and here for the long haul.
Internet is more than just uploads and downloads. It's about connecting people. VTX1 Companies is here for you, bringing communities closer together. VTX1 has connected customers for almost 70 years. Our internet service spans across South Texas to some of the most remote areas. Faster wireless service is now available in Palmview, Alton, Westlaco, and Farr. Call 1-800-446-2031 or visit vtx1.net to find out more.
Maintaining the cattle's health out in the pastures is the bread and butter of making sure the quality of beef is up to standard, and Fellow's expertise guarantees those results. But just beyond the raising is the other critical and delicious part of this family business. Stephanie's focus lies in the processing and distribution of their beef, known as Filito's Finest, and I have to say, I was salivating. We just saw the branding process and the DNA tag process. Now we're looking here at some meat, and this is what most people are accustomed to seeing when we go to a grocery store. But where are we?
Right here you see our finished product here, and these are our variety cuts here, some with our primal, some subprimals. And after we DNA our cattle, we send them off to a local feedlot here, located on the other side of Lynn Well, Rio Beef, run by Mike Rissica.
Okay.
And we feed these animals, these steers out till, they're weighing from 1,600 pounds. And so they're over there getting a grain, corn-based.
They're getting big.
They're getting big
and
they're getting really, that meat's just getting more and more marbled, because that's what this breed is known to do. So once these animals are finished out, then we ship them off to be harvested. 2F Akaushi Beef is our beef processing name that we use to the public. What I like to do is show you exactly, how we process. Once the animals are harvested, we age them, they're hung, and these animals are so big that they're cut up in quarters and some even into subprimals also. And we bring them into our processing plant straight through these doors. It goes into a cooler. We have some stainless steel dollies that we hang our primals on.
So we're gonna see all that.
You're gonna see all that. Our normal cut that we have on hand is 1.25 inches.
Okay.
It's not too big, not too small, but normally it's like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches is what the normal size is.
All right, Chris, cut some steaks. So we are cutting this at 1.5 inches, right?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and then you just take it and you
So what
just
is
scrape
this?
off.
Okay.
This is a bone-in New York strip. This is what you call a double chamber vacuum packer. Once we weigh this item, it comes out, we have a printer here and it'll print out our label. Our label has been state inspected, and so it has the state inspection here. It has 2F Akaushi Beef. It has the legal name of what cut this is, which is a loin, a bone-in strip loin, which is normally what they call a New York strip.
That?
And this right here is a DNA tag. This tag stays with this all the way from when we actually work them and brand them and we DNA them. It goes to the feedlot, off to the slaughterhouse, back over here, and it'll stay with this piece of meat all the way to the consumer.
So that consumer knows exactly what cow their steak came from.
Right, and we can actually say that this is a DNA certified Akaushi New York strip.
How amazing is that?
Okay, Michelle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ground up some of our trimmings with either our rump or our chuck.
Okay.
We don't add any other additives to this meat. And actually, this meat is so marble, we don't even add any outside fat. We'll just keep doing some more here.
That makes
And
quite
what's
a bit,
really
doesn't it?
great, yes it does. This is like 150-pound hopper, and we grind it twice. We put it in there, and it also has a mixer, so we mix it up,
Okay.
and then we grind it, and then we put it back, the whole thing back in there, and we do it again. And so now this is the finished product. And so this ground beef here, and we'll show you, I'll do a demonstration when we go into the kitchen, but it's made up of mono unsaturated fat. And that's what this breed does. It doesn't, the fat content in it, it made up more of mono unsaturated fat than saturated fat. So this is why we call it, the Akaushi or Wagyu breed is called the healthy beef. So you can be eating your ground meat and know exactly what you're eating. This meat is so tender. Ground meat, when you have patties, you know, they not exactly tenderize it, but they'll put little holes in it, just so when you take a bite off, you know, our burgers, you don't have to do that. Yes. As you can see, it's really fresh, and it's
beautiful.
And we'll go in the kitchen where I have some there, and we'll cook some up, and then that way there you can taste it.
Let's get to cooking.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What makes our beef different than really other Wagyu beef and other is that we have totally integrated our ranch from production. You saw how we have hands-on from birth, you know, and all the way up to when they're DNA, they're weaned, and we send them off to the local feedlot with that DNA tag. Then once they're harvested, they come back here, and we still keep that ear tag number on this meat. And so we can rest assured when you say we're not only feeding Wagyu, but we're feeding beef, our community and locally, restaurants, whatever, to our youth that has never ever had any hormones, never ever had any antibiotics, and never ever been fed any animal byproducts. And we can stand by that. We take a lot of pride in producing these animals, but we also take extremely precaution and pride when we go on the production side.
Work on the ranch or farm never stops. From sunup to sunset and the hours in between, reliable machinery is essential, and our Kubota products are the solution. Whether you need a tractor, loader, mower, or utility vehicle, Amigo Power Equipment has over 45 years of experience to get you into the Kubota that's right for you. Stop by today and let us show you all the great Kubota products and why Amigo Power Equipment is the leading Kubota dealer in South Texas. Be sure to ask about our $0 down and 0% finance offers too.
Family means everything. Each farm and ranch that I visit, the importance of family is engraved into the land, and you can truly feel the ethereal connection. There's no shortage of love and pride on Rancho Santa Fe. Characteristics some would think are pivotal to the success of agriculture, and Stephanie and Fellows' philosophies and practices reflect as much. Baby Felito's presence will forever be attached to this family, a soul just as precious and powerful as the sun brings to this land.
Michelle, it's been, our family has been in agriculture for several generations. Stephanie and I are third generation ranching on this particular piece of land, but it's been in our heart and soul, it's been in our blood since really our ancestors came and were in the agriculture business in the late 1800s. So it's experiences, it's the ranch land, it's the ranch life that has been passed down to us so many generations that it's something that I just couldn't picture myself doing anything else.
This is a strip loin, and it is highly marbled. It almost looks like a ribeye. And what makes it, what this breed does is that on a corn grain fed steer, it takes that marbling and brings it into the fat and brings it into the meat. This breed, the ratio to mono unsaturated to saturated fat is a lot greater than any other American breed. And you can see here this meat is cooked and how it breaks down. You have to cook it a little different since it's so highly marbled. When you throw it out on a flame, you don't want to just sear the outside, and that's what a lot of people do because they want to be able to preserve the inside. But here you have to cook it on a little lower heat because there's so much fat on the inside. You need it time for that fat to break down, and once it does, it just gives it such a different buttery flavor.
The third generation to ranch this land, although our heritage goes back to the late 1800s in agriculture. So this is just something that has been part of our lives from the very beginning. It's been passed down. We feel very fortunate to be part of this and we part of this land and part of the heritage. We're very proud of our heritage, and we hope to be able to continue to do this.
We needed to make the change. We've done cow-calf, we've done registered, commercial, and now our dream was to finish off our cattle ourselves and be able to offer this healthy beef to local stores, local butcher shops, households, and we feel that we have hands-on by living out here every day, and that we will be able to offer the best healthy product.
All of our beef is never fed any animal byproducts. Never ever is it given antibiotics, and never ever is it given any type of steroids or hormones. And that is what I'm hoping to shed light on using advertising and marketing through Facebook and Instagram and our website, and having you out here. I mean, all of your following and being able to shed light on that and giving the consumer more knowledge.
It has been our pleasure having you here and shedding our light, sharing our story, shedding the light on a industry that people need to realize, what it takes to bring a steak, what it takes to bring the vegetables, farming, ranching, what it takes to bring that food to the consumer.
God bless you and your hard work. It definitely takes a well-organized and a very work-driven person to do what you guys do. And I know that farming and ranching definitely is taken for granted these days. And so I hope to shed light on your beautiful operation and how hard you work to feed America. So may God bless your many years to come, and cheers to success.
This week's episode is sponsored by This week's episode is sponsored by